32 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists per game for Russell Westbrook. Guys, is he doing anything differently than we've seen in previous seasons in Oklahoma City, only minus Kevin Durant now? Or what do you make of what you're seeing, C-Web?
Well, to me, he used to be one of the laziest players. No, I'm joking. No, he's not doing anything different. I mean, he's doing something different. He's playing even harder, if we can all believe that. And Greg just made a comment. He's intimidating. And I don't think it's just with his stature, it's with his effort every night. And so, to me, I think his effort is the most intimidating that we've seen. We've seen guys like maybe a Dennis Rodman localize it in the paint and see other guys localize it in certain areas, but he does it all over the floor. And so it's amazing to me what he's doing. 14 triple-doubles this year, 51 in his career. What's the most outstanding part of those triple-doubles, Matt?
Well, I tell you, the scoring and the rebound, the scoring and the assists he's going to have, he has his ball in his hands. He's coming downhill on you. Him rebounding at the level he's rebounding at is unbelievable. You just don't see guys his size come in there and mix it up the way he does. He's relentless on the boards, and he goes every single time. And he's a handful, not only for small guys, but for big guys to handle.
How can he be doing that on the boards, GA?
You know, there's an advantage for an athletic guard to rebound because generally – Kevin and C-Web, they're down battling one another. And especially in today's game where the court's bigger. Because of the advent of three-point shooting, you have to guard more of the court. So he gets basically a running start to go and attack. And the other thing about him, you know, there are a lot of guys who play hard, but most guys, it's either the guys who play with will or the guys who play with skill. He's the one guy that does both. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he attacks every possession. I've never seen a guy extend as much energy as he does over the course of one game. And he doesn't play crazy minutes, which is to the credit, I think, of Billy Donovan and the impact he's had on the game.
But that seems to have been the question on everybody's mind. Can he sustain this? I mean, he's done this through 30-something games now. Can he sustain this for an 82-game grind, being asked to do so much for this team? I mean, he leads them in scoring, leads them in rebounding, leads them in assists.
I would say no. But I would have told you he couldn't do it for 30 games either. I would have said he can do it for 5, 8 games like he started out. So I'm saying yes now. I'm starting to change completely and think that he might be able to do it for 82 games, which would be an amazing feat.
We're talking about something, obviously, that hasn't been done since Oscar, 1962, averaging a triple-double. Is he going to do it?
I think he's going to do it. And again, it's, you know, people say, oh, he's searching for the triple-double. I think he's playing to win. Mm-hmm. And I think he knows who his team, the best player knows the identity and the pulse of his team. Like he knew coming into this year, he's going to have to play like this in order for them to be relevant. And what's happening for him, I believe, is it's starting to get easier. Because great players, it's like a formula. They start to figure out how they want to attack it. You know what? I'm going to get 6 or 8 points here. I should be able to get 3 or 4 rebounds just doing this per game. And I think he's got the formula now to have that kind of success on a nightly basis.
Agreed. You know what? He's one of those guys you don't want to make angry. Some guys you want to get them mad. Yeah. They lose their mind. He was mad last summer when KD left, didn't call him. He was finding ways. I said last summer, this guy's going to be a handful. He's finding ways to get angry in July. Yeah. I said, wait till you see him in January. I mean, he's going to get going.
Okay, so he's coming into your gym, and you're the head coach. How are you game planning?
Well, I'm going to put my toughest guy on him and say, one thing he can't get is this type of rebound. You know, Greg's going to have him out. If we get a little wider shot here, Chris and I are fighting here for the boards. Ernie, your job is going to be to shoot the ball and miss. I know it's very hard for you to miss this.
It's not a very comfortable role for me to be playing.
I know. So Ernie's going to shoot it. Chris and I are just fighting like crazy in here for the boards. We're all locked up, and the ball goes up, and you'll be Westbrook, okay? He comes in. I told you, Ernie cannot miss. That's where
the left hand. The left hand. Shoot it with the left.
He's a machine. Anyways, we're tied up in here. We can't get it. And Westbrook comes in, and he gets this tip rebound that comes to here. I think I'm going to get it. I move to here. Westbrook gets it, and he goes. So you got to put your toughest guy on him, box him out there, and your big guys have got to put some wood on him. Like if I see him coming down early in the game, I'm going to knock him on his rear end because I'm going to try to get him off that glass because nothing I hate worse than Chris and I fighting and a guard coming in and snatching my rebound over the top of me because I can't jump.
I mean, wasn't that always the big man mantra there? I mean, you see a guard coming in and getting boards, you're just not going to let that happen.
I wanted to elbow GA this today just because Westbrook is getting so many rebounds for the little guards. And GA had a great point there, but I do have a little bit of a different opinion in that. The fact is, I think what he's doing, as well as it's harder to box out and do these other things, I just think, honestly, he wants it more. I honestly think, because you think we've had guys like Michael Jordan, we've had guys like Scottie Pippen not be able to average 10.8 rebounds before. With the same three-point line, with guys more worried about them as scorers. And I just think that it's going to take some big guys in there, along with gang rebounding, along with rebounding like if you did against Moses Malone, Kevin McHale, you had to rebound by committee. Yeah. And I think as a team, you have to treat him that way. Deny, rebound by committee, and someone always should have should be face guarding.
So we had Kevin McHale playing the role of Eric Spoelstra with Miami being at home with Oklahoma City coming in. Ro Parrish is in Miami, had a chance to talk to Spo about Russell Westbrook in town.
We've seen what Russell Westbrook's been able to do this season, and you spoke about making winning plays and what potentially this team can learn from watching him tonight. Talk about that.
Well, what you have to respect on the other side is the incredible competitive spirit that he brings every single possession, that it's the most important possession to Russell Westbrook. For our young guys, that's outstanding to see. And if you're not matching that, you can forget about trying to win this game. And then when you realize the energy level and the consistent effort that you have to bring to be able to match that intensity and competitive spirit, then you realize, oh, okay, that's what it means, and that's how hard we have to go to win. Well, yeah, and that's what this group is learning.
No question. So last question. Take off the coaching hat for a second. Just how impressive has it been to see what Westbrook's been able to do this season, just from his effort and the number that he's been able to put up, seeing a guy that once played the point guard position?
Yeah, it's unprecedented to see what he's doing, and we're all fans of the game, and whether we're catching their full games or not, you're damn sure we're catching the highlights. What he's doing.
No question
I mean, it's never been done, in 40 years. What he's trying to, or what he's, I don't know if he's trying to do it, but what's happening. So, from a competitive standpoint, he's deserving that respect. And they've had a lot of changes and lost a lot of big time players there, and he hasn't slowed down a bit. He's just continued to evolve.
I think the great point that Eric Spoelstra makes there when he talks about the will and talks about treating every possession like it's his last. Look, if you're on the floor and can't make that same statement, whether you're a teammate or whether you're going up against him, then something's wrong. If he's the only guy on the floor treating every possession like it's his last, something's wrong, C-Webb.
Yeah, no, you're right, something's wrong. But I think what Coach Spoelstra is trying to say, that it's so great to see a phenomenon like this that the younger guys get to learn from. Because if we haven't seen it, these young guys sure haven't seen it. And you've watched a lot of basketball, EJ, and when we talk collectively and get excited, I can't think of anyone in the league that I've been this excited about their energy. Maybe a big guy like a Rodman that just stayed in the paint, but not someone that went 94 feet, guarded you 94 feet. I mean, what he's doing rebounding-wise, just to go back to this, to me is harder than averaging 32. And I've never averaged 32. But for a guard to be able to do this, and so, EJ, you're right as far as should everyone play like this? Should everyone have this energy every possession? But I also think you have to see something incredible like this guy play to know that, hey, I can do a whole lot more, and start comparing yourself to him as the others.
And that's a great point. And remember this, too, the thing about him, the game of basketball, even for the guys who play on effort, we will spend a portion of the game watching. Like I always tell young guys, I'd watch young guys play and they'll watch the track. I'm like, dude, you might as well buy a ticket, because you're not participating. He doesn't watch.
No.
He attacks every possession. Like we say you should do that. Most guys mentally aren't wired to do that. You just aren't. That's what's so special about it. There's a reason why nobody else has ever done it. And remember, he ain't just getting the 10 rebounds. He's getting 32 every night.
And we used to criticize him for this. Let's remember, too, a couple years ago, it was, oh, my God, he's so out of control.
Out of control,
he's
exactly.
so passionate.
Scale it back a little
Exactly.
bit.
I mean,
You can't do that every trip.
Now he just makes sure he doesn't turn over. But he's still all over the floor and stands diving. And so I'm glad that he's been consistent with his effort.
The fine line between fantastic effort and out of control effort. You know what I mean? He brings fantastic effort, but what he does to me, he makes his teammates play harder. You can't see that guy do that kind of stuff and not say, man, I got to pick it up. Because when he comes to you and says, I need more out of you, it's hard to look at him and say, I need more out of you. And so, it
I need less out of you.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
My more will be almost what you have. Yeah.
So he makes you better, and that's what I like about his team. He's making those guys win. And again, I get back to last summer when KD left. Oklahoma City won't make the playoffs, won't do this, won't
we
do that.
said the sky is falling, it's over for 'em.
And all he said is, we'll see.
Yeah.
But there are, I mean, there are like a handful when you
Yes.
when you look at all the guys you've watched play over the years that you knew when you watched for 48 minutes, they weren't going to take a minute of that off. Allen Iverson was
Yes.
one of those guys to
Yes.
me when I watched him
Yes.
play. It was like everything was out there for 48. Westbrook the same way. Michael the same way. I mean, obviously not everybody can have it, but those who do, man, they leave an impact with you.
Great for us fans. I mean,
Yeah,
we
so-
love
Yes.
watching.
No question.